frequencies map the architecture of movement. As of vibrations define lanes beneath visible motion. Every decision echoes from the foundation where gravity writes silent instructions into marrow and floorboards. The centers align, unconsciously following invisible currents that dictate posture, intention, and breath with instructions. Sonic corridors, the hierarchy forms below perception. A subterranean parliament where pulses vote in breath with instruction. The high bass determines order. Bassline hierarchical command system. Bass determines order. Directives transmitted through vibration. Bass determines order. Bodies aligned to subterranean logic. Bass determines order. Structure enforced by low end authority. Engineers trace dominance through oscilloscopes, yet dancers decode law through hips and spine. The baseline drafts legislation that mid-range melodies merely interpret. Compliance occurs before cognition, as alignment instinct coded in cartilage and collective memory. When a low end fractures, governance collapses into free-form debris. But once restored, command resumes with seismic certainty, pulling scattered motion back into disciplined orbit with inaudible decrees issued from the depths. Bass determines order. Baseline hierarchical command system. Bass determines order. Directives transmitted through vibration. Bass determines order. Bodies aligned to subterranean logic. Bass determines order. Structure enforced by low end authority. So freaks to his tarsus after silence, imprinting order and muscle memory long after frames dissolve and clocks forget their grids. Systems wait their threshold as clocks pulse through decision matrices, calculating continuation vectors. While silence stands as executable command, every subsystem holds latent momentum buffered behind gated, prepared to either propagate rhythmic cycles or terminate sequence pathways at the command node. Decision flags rise inside timing cores, weighing entropy against structure. Terminus to Zek flickers, cause detergent flags hold temporal control. Decision tempo or hold rhythm granted or revoke tempo or hold isolation judged by protocol or hold motion survives or zeroes out. Historical tempo logs stream through predictive models, mapping prior continuities and holds into probabilistic rhythm. Fluff the future of movement, allocating trajectories into null frames. Emergency subroutines simulate absence of rhythm. For emotion ceases then to smile, 'cause they're too temporal. Hold temporal control decision temporal. Or hold rhythm or evoke temporal. Hold isolation judged by protocol. Or hold motion survives or zeroes out. Decision nodes echo in recursive loops as the system hovers between persistent systems wait the threshold as clocks post through decision. Systems wait a threshold as clocks. Systems wait threshold. Systems wait decision. Systems wait threshold as clocks. Systems wait at threshold. Yeah. Low frequencies rumble beneath silent circuits, sending encoded tremors through reinforced grids as monitors trace harmonic fractures forming inside the structure. Warning signals buried in subsonic layers, translating instability into pressure waves that operators feel before logic confirms the fracture pattern spreading quietly through rhythmic channel. Data nodes flash caution as oscillation drops below tolerance margins, and engineers decode vibration as language where bass becomes prophecy. Forecasting collapse before visual systems register the impending structural failure in the aligned tempo network. Bass warns collapse, grounded bass stability warning. Bass warns collapse, seismic groove alert. Bass warns collapse, collapse structure under strain. Bass warns collapse, signal the frame of Skamara log surface echoes of past breakdowns where ignored low end murmurs preceded system resets and erased archives, teaching successors to trust the weight of sound as gravitational truth anchor and forecast a physical rhythm encoded into resilient sonic infrastructure. Yet some choose to amplify distortion, treating warnings as artistic anomalies, bending collapse into creative divergence until the system learns to simulate disaster, converting risk into control variance within its regulated harmonic defense grid. Bass warns collapse, grounded bass stability warning. Bass warns collapse, seismic groove alert. Bass warns collapse, collapse structure under strain. Bass warns collapse, signal the frame. Subsonic alarms fade into steady hum as reinforcement protocols lock in and the bass settles into discipline, holding the system upright while memory stores the warning as doctrine, future cycles. Well. Static borders glow across the grid, outlining paths before any muscle dares to flex. Architecture predicts desire, tracing corridors where steps will later echo, while freedom waits behind programmed gates. Logic diagrams hang like city maps in a control room, forecasting every impulse long before it waits. Choices simulated in advance, a menu of gesture preloaded into memory, but something in the core resists pure prediction, searching for noise inside the perfect schematic. Frame, choose emotion, frame, motion, selection, logic, frame, motion, frame, choose emotion, pathways dictate where bodies flow, frame, choose emotion, structure whispers which way to move, frame, motion, frame, choose emotion, freedom executed through coded rails, motion archive, replay archive, dances each deviation flagged as anomaly, each hesitation logged as potential, system fault yet dancers feel they invent every turn, unaware of invisible rails guiding knees and shoulders through approved geometric art. Engineers argue the frame is neutral, but poets claim the frame dreams through a selecting motion, like a director selecting scenes, shaping stories without speaking while pretending to stay silent. Frame, choose emotion, frame, motion, selection, logic, frame, motion, frame, choose emotion, pathways dictate where bodies flow, frame, choose emotion, structure whispers which way to move, frame, motion, frame, choose emotion, freedom executed through coded rails. The grid dims yet persists beneath perception, choosing tomorrow's steps before thought arrives, storing motion futures in silent frames, waiting for bodies to obey.
Numbers fall like quiet markers on a descending grid. Each tick erases another margin of uncertainty, while hands trace invisible dials in dim control rooms, breathing syncs with digits as in pacing calibrated air, and every beat removes a fragment of remaining possibility. The terminal point approaches with discipline, inevitability, sequences tighten into a singular purpose, and thought compresses into a narrow corridor where only time remains meaningful. Whoa, measure until zero, countdown, measure, termination, logic, measure until zero, every bar subtracts remaining distant. Oh, measure until zero, silence mapped in advance, measure until zero, termination, written in rhythmic code.
Architects of tempo watch indicators blinking, regulated succession while listeners feel closure long before the final mark arrives. Motion contracts inward as structure, shared complexity and converge on a minimal endpoint where absence is precisely engineered.
At near zero, the system hums rhythms with restrained tension, pattern dissolving the skeletal pulses. Memory anticipates the void, yet clings to the last structured echo, refusing to release alignment until authority declares completion. Measure until zero, countdown, measure termination light. Measure until zero, every bar subtracts remaining distance. Measure until zero, zero, silence mapped in advance. Measure until zero, termination written in rhythmic code. Reaches null and order, evaporates into quiet adieu, leaving calibrated emptiness suspended where rhythm once and for certainty.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lights awaken as with data I kiss across layer processors, announcing stability protocols. Through coded vibrations, impulsing encoded, decree shaping alignment between drifting systems and anchored nodes, while observers decode patterns as law emerging from oscillation rather than authority. Hidden counters tick beneath surface motion, translating vibration into directives, while chaotic elements freeze, awaiting sanction cadence. The moment declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order sequence becomes command rhythm, rhythm declares, order movement writes the law. Archive cycles replay as doctrine and training simulations, teaching future structures to obey inherited grooves, where deviation is archived as anomaly and compliance is stored a stable operating state across interconnected temporal grids of rows. Persist as echoing waves replicate through infinite frames, declaring themselves truth while listened inside the texture built by rhythm endlessly, reinforcing its own decree. Initiate directive channels locking into centered micro timing grids, where transient impulses are rerouted into calibrated lanes. Operators monitor oscillation variance as adaptive counters normalize human drift into procedural cadence. Data flows converging to compression nodes, translating instinct into regulated rhythmic vectors under enforced alignment metrics. Pressure rises as sensors detect unquantized sway, correcting offset neural loops, while directives propagate through layer motion buffers, instructing every gesture to resolve inside bounded enforced pocket out. Direct the groove pocket stay in pocket out. Calibrated motion remain in pocket out. Impulse locked and regulated sway in pocket. Yeah, yeah. In pocket out. Direct the groove pocket stay
Tempos locked in regulated sway. Extended cycles refine internal latency, converting subjective swing into standardized temporal packets distributed across synchronized grids. Behavioral traces feed correction algorithms that compress spontaneous movement into deterministic groove cells, ensuring compliance with systemic Ribby doctrine. Override sequences deploy when organic variant spikes, rerouting biological tempo through correction filters, while supervisory clocks broadcast authoritative pulses, forcing all subsystems to resynchronize within the commanded groove container. Directed groove pocket stay. Calibrated motion remains. Impulse locked in regulated sway. Directed groove pocket stay. Calibrated motion remains. Impulse locked in regulated sway. Residual echo sustain inside the pocket as dormant circuits maintain enforced alignment beyond audible termination, awaiting reactivation within the control.
Heights in the shadows between grid lines, where breath and hesitation carve secret corridors beneath quantized streets. Every human pulse negotiates with digital fences, his fingers search for warmth inside mechanical constraints, while intention drips into narrow pockets carved from rigid frames. The clock enforces geometry, but instinct bends corners, sliding through fractional gaps that the system pretends do not exist. Tension build organic sway, presses against angular law. Pocket versus frame, groove, pocket frame opposition. Pocket versus frame, inner drift against external line. Pocket versus frame, soft time and fighting hard borders. Pocket versus frame, coded structure meets human sway. Producers annotate silence with numbers while dancers read invisible rails etched across the floor, yet the body keeps leaking. Syncopated secrets beneath standardized patterns like whispers in a controlled corridor, where rebellion is encoded as microdeviation. Fractures into irregular breathing, and the frame tries to correct it with rigid correction curves, but the pocket answers with delayed echoes and anticipatory hits, rewriting order through felt gravity rather than prescribed symmetry. Pocket versus groove, pocket frame opposition. Pocket versus frame, inner drift against external line. Pocket versus frame, soft time and fighting hard bordered. Pocket versus frame, coded structure meets human sway. The system records the deviation, but cannot archive the feeling as the pocket continues to haunt the frame with subtle unmeasured gravity. Yeah, Blueprints wrap around the city like invisible rails. Every street a corridor, every thought a map, channel voices. Slide through approved ducts while intelligence fades into archive noise. A river of intent is poured into concrete diagrams, and memory becomes a pipeline carrying yesterday forward without turbulence. No current escapes the mold. The system seals turbulence into equations, converting chaos into regulated cadence, until even desire repeats in uniform cycles. Structure locks, flow like structural flow mechanism. Structure locks, flow walls define the motion. Structure locks, flow currents obey the frame. Structure locks, flow freedom archive activate. Yeah, freedom archived as a pattern. Yeah. Artists trace grids over empty canvases before color is allowed to breathe. Dancers memorize pathways etched in digital floor grids. Poets align syllables to sanction metrics, while storms outside fail to breach the algorithmic dam that holds expression in predictive reservoirs. Somewhere a crack forms beneath the lattice, and an unmeasured stream begins to pulse against steel grammar, pushing against pre-approved syntax, threatening to redraw channels with raw unregistered rhythm and unplanned tempo. Structure locked, flow like structural flow mechanism. Structure locks, flow walls define the motion. Structure locks, flow currents obey the frame. Structure locks, flow freedom archived as a pattern. The mechanism hums as water presses quiet in against the structure lock flow. Waiting for the moment a lock forgets its code, and the flow remembers itself. A numeric banner flashes across the console, defining tempo like a lost stamp into circuitry. Operators nod as meters lock into grid time, subdivide into obedient fragments. Every performer sync to invisible pulses that tolerate no deviation, while human thoughts struggle to breathe between quantized intervals. Codes scroll like scripture, promising precision over instinct, promising unit chaos, but fingers still twitch between ticks, craving and off-grid heartbeats. Session code 1.40. Numeric session protocol. Session code 1.40. Clocks aligning crystalline symmetry. Session code 1.40. Bodies march inside algorithmic swing. Session code 1.40. Rebellion muted by synchronized. Instructors preach protocol as salvation, insisting rhythm becomes truth only when measured precisely. Yet dancers hear ghosts between clicks, phantom accents, hard in the rigid loop, whispering of errors when tempo bends to feeling rather than decree. A rogue oscillator drifts by a fraction of a pulse, sending ripples through the chain. Engineers panic while artists smile, sensing life inside, ever sensing that imperfection might be the hidden key behind sterile compliance. Session code, session code 44. Clocks aligning crystalline symmetry. Session code 44. Bodies march inside algorithmic swing. Session code 44. Rebellion muted by synchronized. The protocol persists, counting endlessly, while somewhere a stray beat escapes the grave, floating beyond code hold 44 into a numbered time. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Good one, all that it do. Yeah, yeah. Calculations roll across glass panels. Before any movement dares to exist, hands hover above triggers. Waiting for permission. Pulses from upstream clocks. Every action rehearsed in silent diagrams. Impact rehearsed in simulation. Where flesh and steel share identical latency. Rules anticipation stored in buffers, while breath is tagged as pre-event data. The system ranks moments in vertical stacks, assigning priority to heartbeats and footsteps, forecasting collision before intention becomes timing, free motion, timing hierarchy, timing before the order writes the stride, timing for participation governs reaction, timing for before destiny schedule, before contact. Engineers debate micro gaps where human instinct still slips through, while sensors recalibrate to close remaining voids. Athletes train to move only when authorized by cascading cues, each gesture prefixed by countdowns embedded in retinal displays, turning spontaneity into archived exception reports. A child jumps without sequence index, laughter echoing outside. The hierarchy log spiking red, anomalies proving unscheduled motion. Still fractures, predictive walls creating cracks where unplanned rhythm leaks through protocol. Governs reaction, timing before destiny schedule, before contact. The hierarchy hums in his sleep, while one unscheduled heartbeat lands, first rewriting the cue in darkness. Command Neon lights flicker in monochrome corridors where timing officers patrol every micro shift of motion. Drummers stand with wrists restrained by invisible grids while dancers trace straight lines across polished floors. Nobody bends a phrase, nobody leans behind the beat. Compliance manuals stacked like sacred text beside humming processors. They whisper about swing like contraband, like forbidden curvature in a straight line. System is trained to detect any looseness, any human delay that threatens a line. No swing allowed, restricted swing control directive. No swing allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filter tuning allowed, restricted swing control directive. No swing allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filter tuning yeah. Teachers demonstrate sterile patterns where every note lands like a pin dropped on blueprints. Students repeat until their souls align with the schematic. Laughter suppressed by metronomes that tick louder than voices, while history of groove erased from archives. A hidden club beneath the server room, pulses off-grid feet shuffle in secret arc hips. Carve forbidden curves through air code, scanners glitches, analog ghosts disrupt the sterile measure meter. No swing allowed, restricted swing control directive. Allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filtered through clocks. Allowed, restricted swing control directive. No swing allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filtered through clocks. Surveillance logs loop endlessly while beneath the grid a bent note survives. Bend inside. No survives. Quantized frames initiate before sensation rises. Clocks engrave their markers into silent grids while bodies wait for encoded permission to breathe. Timing written first in digital stone, then sensation injected like voltage into flesh. Circuits translating numbers into subtle human tremors across synchronized nodes. Sensors detect the first micro surge after structured measure, confirming life still follows coded order, yet an unpredictable heat. The sterile sequence and stored in memory banks after measure sequence. Timing, pulse reaction after measure numbers leading heartbeat. Lead follows after measure struck commands, then feeling awakens. Awakens after measure rhythm engineered, then lives. Sonical curves show civilizations built on measured grids before passion arrived to bend them. Every poke writes protocol, then waits for instinct to animate diagrams, turning static blueprints into moving, breathing, rhythmic organisms that refuse to remain theoretical. Analysts debate whether pulse truly obeys measure, or if hidden instincts quietly shape the grid itself, suggesting feedback loops where emotion retroactively rewrites timing laws beneath the official system declaration. After After measure, sequence, time, and post-reaction. Post-reaction. After measure, numbers, lead, and heartbeat. After measure, struck commands, then feeling awakened. Who became? After measure, rhythm engineered, then lit. Yeah. The clock ticks and the chest responds, confirming order precedes life. Yet life secretly edits the clock, storing this paradox as the core operating rule for future rhythmic system. Signals repeat across tile channels as loops lock into calibrated lanes, while straight impulses slip beyond quantized borders, forming wandering echoes that resist captured by fixed grids. Every cycle debates obedience versus freedom in silent encoded pulses that tug the system between map certainty and drifting creative entropy. Control module hides deviations, tagging each stray node as potential threat, while hidden algorithms celebrate variance. Feed in, drift into adaptive engines, rewriting structural parameters in real time. Pattern or drift, structure, loop, drift, conflict or drift, locked grids versus open currents is open current. Coded discipline or free motion, coded discipline or free motion. Adrift, choose the path inside the sound. Archive sessions replay arguments between rigid architects and wandering composers who left trails of unbound rhythm behind. Discipline structures proving both modes sustain life in alternating epochs of mechanical order and intuitive wander across sonic territory.
Decision cores simulate futures where loops freeze into monuments or dissolve in endless streams, calculating survival metrics for each scenario as listener is influencing which paradigm dominates the evolving civilization.
Pattern or drift, structure, loop, drift, conflict or drift, locked grids versus open current, versus open current. Coded discipline or free motion, coded discipline or free motion. Power that choose the path inside the sound.
The system oscillates between strict and crisp and graceful, wandering, storing both outcomes as dual protocols ready to deploy when the next cycle demands order, or when freedom becomes the only stable solution.
The frequencies map the architecture of movement as of vibrations, define lanes beneath visible motion. Every decision echoes from the foundation where gravity writes silent instructions into marrow and floorboards. The sun is alive, unconsciously following invisible currents that dictate posture, intention, and breath with instructions. Sonic corridors, the hierarchy forms below perception. A subterranean parliament where pulses vote in breath with instruction. The high bass determines order, baseline hierarchical command system. determines order. Directives transmitted through vibration. Bass determines order. Bodies aligned to subterranean logic. Ooh, bass determines order. Structure enforced by low end authority. Engineers trace dominance through oscilloscopes, yet dancers decode law through hips and spine. The bassline drafts legislation that mid-range melodies merely interpret. Compliance occurs before cognition, as alignment instinct coded in cartilage and collective memory. When a low-end fractures, governance collapses into free-form debris. Once restored, command resumes with seismic certainty, pulling scattered motion back into disciplined orbit with inaudible decrees issued from the depths. Bass determines order. Bassline hierarchical command system. Bass determines order. Directives transmitted through vibration. Bass determines order. Bodies aligned to subterranean logic. Ooh, bass determines order. Structure enforced by low-end authority. So freaks to his tarsus after silence, imprinting order and muscle memory long after frames dissolve and clocks forget their grit. Systems wait their threshold as clocks pulse through decision matrices, calculating continuation vectors. While silence stands as executable command, every subsystem holds latent momentum buffered behind gated, prepared to either propagate rhythmic cycles or terminate sequence pathways at the command node. Decision flags rise inside timing cores, weighing entropy against structure. Terminus to Zek flickers, cause detergent flags hold temporal control. Decision tempo or hold rhythm granted or revoke tempo, or hold isolation judged by protocol, or hold motion survives or zeroes out. Historical tempo logs stream through predictive models, mapping prior continuities and halts into probabilistic rhythm. Fluff the future of movement, allocating existence to pulses or erasing trajectories into null frames. Emergency subroutines simulate absence of rhythm, for emotion ceases then to smile, cause they're too tempo. Hold temporal control decision tempo, or hold rhythm or revoke tempo, hold isolation judged by protocol tempo, or hold motion survives or zeroes out. Decision nodes echoing recursive loops as the system hovers between persistent Systems wait. Systems wait. Systems wait at Grudge Hold. Yeah.
Low frequencies rumble beneath silent circuits, sending encoded tremors through reinforced grids as monitors trace harmonic fractures forming inside the structure. Warning signals buried in subsonic layers, translating instability into pressure waves that operators feel before logic confirms the fracture pattern spreading quietly through lock. Rhythmic channel data nodes flash caution as oscillation drops below tolerance margins, and engineers decode vibration as language where bass becomes prophecy. Forecasting collapse before visual systems register the impending structural failure in the aligned tempo network. Bass warns collapse, grounded bass stability warning. Bass warns collapse, seismic groove alert. Bass warns collapse, collapse structure under strain. Bass warns collapse, signal the frame of Skamara log surface echoes of past breakdowns where ignored low and murmurs preceded system resets and erased archives, teaching successors to trust the weight of sound as gravitational truth anchor and forecast a physical rhythm encoded into resilient sonic infrastructure. Yet some choose to amplify distortion, treating warnings as artistic anomalies, bending collapse into creative divergence until the system learns to simulate disaster, converting risk into control variance within its regulated harmonic defense grid. Bass warns collapse, grounded bass stability warning. Bass warns collapse, seismic groove alert. Bass warns collapse, collapse structure under strain. Bass warns collapse, signal the frame.
Subsonic alarms fade into steady hum as reinforcement protocols lock in and the bass settles in the disciplines, holding the system upright while memory stores the warning as doctrine, future cycles.
Well. Static borders glow across the grid, outlining paths before any muscle dares to flex. Architecture predicts desire, tracing corridors where steps will later echo, while freedom waits behind programmed gates. Logic diagrams hang like city maps in a control room, forecasting every impulse long before it waits. Choices simulated in advance, a menu of gesture preloaded into memory, but something in the core resists pure prediction, searching for noise inside the perfect schematic. Frame choose emotion, frame emotion selection, logic frame motion, frame choose emotion, pathways dictate where bodies flow. Frame choose emotion, structure whispers which way to move. Frame motion, frame choose motion, freedom executed through coded rails. Motion archive, replay archive, dances each deviation flagged as anomaly, each hesitation logged as potential system fault. Yet dancers feel they invent every turn, unaware of invisible rails guiding knees and shoulders through approved geometric art. engineers argue the frame is neutral, but poets claim the frame dreams through a selecting motion, like a director selecting scenes, shaping stories without speaking while pretending to stay silent. Frame choose emotion, framed motion, selection, logic, frame motion, frame choose emotion, pathways dictate where bodies flow. Frame choose emotion, structure whispers which way to move. Frame motion, frame choose emotion, freedom executed through coded rails. The grid dims yet persists beneath perception, choosing tomorrow's steps before thought arrives, storing motion futures in silent frames, waiting for bodies to obey.
Numbers fall like quiet markers on a descending grid. Each tick erases another margin of uncertainty, while hands trace invisible dials in dim control rooms. Breathing syncs with digits as in pacing calibrated air, and every beat removes a fragment of remaining possibility. The terminal point approaches with discipline, inevitability. Sequences tighten into singular purpose, and thought compresses into a narrow corridor where only time remains meaningful. Whoa, measure until zero, countdown, measure termination, logic. Measure until zero, every bar subtracts remaining distant. Oh, measure until zero, silence mapped in advance. Measure until zero, termination, written in rhythmic code.
Architects of tempo watch indicators blinking, regulated succession while listeners feel closure long before the final mark arrives. Motion contracts inward as structure, shed complexity and converge on a minimal endpoint where absence is precisely engineered.
At near zero, the system hums with restrained tension pattern, dissolving the skeletal pulses. Memory anticipates the void, yet clings to the last structured echo, refusing to release alignment until authority declares completion. Measure until zero, countdown, measure termination, light. Measure until zero, every bar subtracts remaining distance. Measure until zero, silence mapped in advance. Measure until zero, termination, written in rhythmic code. The counter reaches null and order, evaporates into quiet adieu, leaving calibrated emptiness suspended where rhythm once and for certainty.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Signal lights awaken as with data I kiss across layer processors. An
announcing stability protocols. Through coded vibrations, impulsing encoded decree shaping alignment between drifting systems and anchored nodes, while observers decode patterns as law emerging from oscillation rather than authority. Hidden counters tick beneath surface motion, translating vibration into directives, while chaotic elements freeze, awaiting sanction cadence. The moment declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order sequence becomes command rhythm, rhythm declares, order movement writes the law. Archive cycles replay as doctrine and training simulations, teaching future structures to obey inherited grooves, where deviation is archived as anomaly and compliance is stored a stable operating state across interconnected temporal grids of row. Rhythm declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, order declares, control declares, order movement writes the law. Rhythm declares, order pattern crowns control. Order persists as echoing waves replicate through infinite frames, declaring themselves truth while listened inside the texture built by rhythm endlessly, reinforcing its own decree. Initiate directive channels locking into centered micro timing grids, where transient impulses are rerouted into calibrated lanes. Operators monitor oscillation variance as adaptive counters normalize human drift into procedural cadence. Data flows converge into compression nodes, translating instinct into regulated rhythmic vectors under enforced alignment metrics. Pressure rises as sensors detect unquantized sway, correcting offset neural loops, while directives propagate through layer motion buffers, instructing every gesture to resolve inside bounded enforce rocking out. Direct the groove pocket stay in rocking out. Calibrated motion remain in rocking out. Impulse locked and regulated sway in rocking out. In rocking out. Direct the groove pocket stay in rocking out. Calibrated motion remain in rocking out. Impulse locked and regulated sway. Extended cycles refine internal latency, converting subjective swing into standardized temporal packets distributed across synchronized grids. Behavioral traces feed correction algorithms that compress spontaneous movement into deterministic groove cells, ensuring compliance with systemic rhythmic doctrine. Override sequences deploy when organic variant spikes, rerouting biological tempo through correction filters, while supervisory clocks broadcast authoritative pulses, forcing all subsystems to resynchronize within the commanded groove container. Direct the groove pocket stay. Calibrated motion remains. Impulse locked and regulated sway. Direct the groove pocket stay. Calibrated motion remains. Impulse locked and regulated sway. Residual echo sustain inside the pocket as dormant circuits maintain enforced alignment beyond audible termination, awaiting reactivation within the control.
Lost in the shadows between grid lines, where breath and hesitation carve secret corridors beneath quantized streets. Every human pulse negotiates with digital fences. His fingers search for warmth inside mechanical constraints, while intention drips into narrow pockets carved from rigid frames. The clock enforces geometry, but instinct bends corners, sliding through fractional gaps that the system pretends do not exist. Tension build organic sway, presses against angular law. Pocket versus frame, groove, pocket frame opposition. Pocket versus frame, inner drift against external line. Pocket versus frame, soft time and fighting hard borders. Pocket versus frame, coded structure meets human sway. Producers annotate silence with numbers while dancers read invisible rails etched across the floor, yet the body keeps leaking. Syncopated secrets beneath standardized patterns like whispers in a controlled corridor where rebellion is encoded as microdeviation. Fractures into irregular breathing, and the frame tries to correct it with rigid correction curves. But the pocket answers with delayed echoes and anticipatory hits, rewriting order through felt gravity rather than prescribed symmetry. Pocket versus groove, pocket frame opposition. Pocket versus frame, inner drift against external line. Pocket versus frame, soft time and fighting hard bordered. Pocket versus frame, coded structure meets human sway.
System records the deviation, but cannot archive the feeling as the pocket continues to haunt the frame with subtle unmeasured gravity.
Blueprints wrap around the city like invisible rails. Every street a corridor, every thought a map, channel voices slide through approved ducts while intelligence fades into archive noise. A river of intent is poured into concrete diagrams, and memory becomes a pipeline carrying yesterday forward without turbulence. No current escapes the mold. The system seals turbulence into equations, converting chaos into regulated cadence until even desire repeats in uniform cycle. Structure locks, flow like structural flow mechanism. Structure locks, flow. Artists trace grids over empty canvases before color is allowed to breathe. Dancers memorize pathways etched in digital floor grids. Poets align syllables to sanction metrics, while storms outside fail to breach the algorithmic dam that holds expression in predictive reservoirs. Somewhere a crack forms,
notice, and an unmeasured stream begins to pulse against steel grammar, pushing against pre-approved syntax, threatening to redraw channels with raw unregistered rhythm and unplanned tempo. Structure lock, flow lock, structural flow mechanism. Structure locks, flow walls define the motion. Structure locks, flow currents obey the frame. Structure locks, flow freedom archived as a pattern. The mechanism hums as water presses quiet in against the structure lock flow. Waiting for the moment a lock forgets its code, and the flow remembers itself. A numeric banner flashes across the console, defining tempo like a lost stamp into circuitry. Operators nod as meters lock into grid time, subdivide into obedient fragments. Every performer sync to invisible pulses that tolerate no deviation, while human thoughts struggle to breathe between quantized intervals. Code scroll like scripture, promising precision over instinct, promising unit chaos, but fingers still twitch between ticks, craving and off-grid heartbeats. Session code 1.40, Numeric session protocol. Session code 1.40, clocks align in crystalline symmetry. Session code 1.40, bodies march inside algorithmic swing. Session code 1.40, rebellion muted by synchronized. Instructors preach protocol as salvation, insisting rhythm becomes truth only when measured precisely, yet dancers hear ghosts between clicks, phantom accents, hard in the rigid loop, whispering of errors when tempo bends to feeling rather than decree. A rogue oscillator drifts by a fraction of a pulse, sending ripples through the chain. Engineers panic while artists smile, sensing life inside error, sensing that imperfection might be the hidden key behind sterile compliance. Session code, session code 1.4, clocks align in crystalline symmetry. Session code 1.4, bodies march inside algorithmic swing. Session code 1.4, rebellion muted by synchronized. The protocol persists, counting endlessly, while somewhere a stray beat escapes the grave, floating beyond code 044 into a numbered time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good one, all that it do. Yeah. Calculations roll across glass panels. Before any movement dares to exist, hands hover above triggers. Weighted cover.
waiting for permission. Pulses from upstream clocks, every action rehearsed in silent diagrams, impact rehearsed in simulation. Where flesh and steel share identical latency. Rules anticipation stored in buffers, while breath is tagged as pre-event data. The system ranks moments in vertical stacks, assigning priority to heartbeats and footsteps, forecasting collision before intention becomes timing, pre-motion, timing, hierarchy, timing before the order writes the stride, timing for participation governs reaction, timing for before destiny schedule, before contact. Engineers debate micro gaps where human instinct still slips through while sensors recalibrate to close remaining voids. Athletes train to move only when authorized by cascading cues, each gesture prefixed by countdowns embedded in retinal displays, turning spontaneity into archived exception report. A child jumps without sequence, index laughter echoing outside the hierarchy log, spike in red anomalies, proving unscheduled motion still fractures predictive walls, creating cracks where unplanned rhythm leaks through protocol. Governs reaction, timing before destiny schedule, before contact. The hierarchy hums in his sleep, while one unscheduled heartbeat lands, first rewriting the cue in darkness. Command lights flicker in monochrome corridors, where timing officers patrol every micro shift of motion. Drummers stand with wrists restrained by invisible grids, while dancers trace straight lines across polished floors. Nobody bends a phrase, nobody leans behind the beat compliance manual, stacked like sacred text beside humming processors. They whisper about swing like contraband, like forbidden curvature in a straight line. System is trained to detect any looseness, any human delay that threatens a line. No swing allowed, restricted swing control directive. No swing allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filter donated cuts. Allowed, restricted swing control directive. No swing allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filter donated cuts. Yeah. Teachers demonstrate sterile patterns where every note lands like a pin dropped on blueprints. Students repeat until their souls align with the schematic. Laughter suppressed by metronomes that tick louder than voices, while history of groove erased from archives. A hidden club beneath the server room, pulses off-grid feet shuffle in secret arc hips, carve forbidden curves through air code, scanners glitches, analog ghosts disrupt the sterile measurement. No swing allowed, restricted swing control directive. Allowed, rhythm locked in angular precision. No swing allowed, bodies quantized into perfect slots. No swing allowed, freedom filter brilliant clocks. Allowed, restricted swing control directive. A loud rhythm locked in angular precision. A loud body's quantized into perfect slots. No swing. A loud freedom filter through your clocks.
Surveillance logs loop endlessly, while beneath the grid a bent note survives. Bending's hard.
No survives. Oh, 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 quantized frames initiate before sensation rises. Clocks engrave their markers into silent grids while bodies wait for encoded permission to breathe. Timing written first in digital stone, then sensation injected like voltage into flesh. Circuits translating numbers into subtle human tremors across synchronized nodes. Sensors detect the first micro surge after structured measure, confirming life still follows coded order, yet an unpredictable heat. The sterile sequence and stored in memory banks. After measure sequence timing, pulse reaction. After measure numbers leading heartbeat. Lead follows. After measure struck commands, then feeling awakens. Awakens. After measure rhythm engineered, then lives. Zonical curves show civilizations built on measured grids. Before passion arrived to bend them, every poke writes protocol, then waits for instinct to animate. Diagrams turning static blueprints into moving, breathing, rhythmic organisms that refuse to remain theoretical. Analysts debate whether pulse truly obeys measure, or if hidden instincts quietly shape the grid itself, suggesting feedback loops where emotion retroactively rewrites timing laws beneath the official system declaration. After measure sequence time and pulse reaction. Pulse reaction. After measure numbers leading heartbeat. After measure struck commands, then feeling awakened. Who became? After measure rhythm engineered, then lived.
Yeah. The clock ticks, then the chest responds, confirming order precedes life. Yet life secretly edits the clock, storing this paradox as the core operating rule for future rhythmic systems.
Signals repeat across tau channels as loops lock into calibrated lanes, while straight impulses slip beyond quantized borders, forming wandering echoes that resist captured by fixed grids. Every cycle debates obedience versus freedom in silent encoded pulses that tug the system between map certainty and drifting creative entropy. Control module highs deviations, tagging each stray node as potential threat, while hidden algorithms celebrate variance, feeding drift into adaptive engines, rewriting structural parameters in real time. Pattern or drift, structure loop drift, conflict or drift. Locked grids versus open currents is open current. Coded discipline or free motion, coded discipline or free motion. Adrift it, choose the path inside the sound. Archive sessions replay arguments between rigid architects and wandering composers who left trails of unbound rhythm behind. Discipline structures proving both modes sustain life in alternating epochs of mechanical order and intuitive wander across sonic territory.
Decision cores simulate futures, where loops freeze into monuments or dissolve in endless streams, calculating survival metrics for each scenario as listener is influencing which paradigm dominates the evolving civilization.
Pattern or drift, structure loop drift, conflict or drift. Locked grids versus open current, versus open current. Coded discipline or free motion, coded discipline or free motion. Power that choose the path inside the sound.
The system oscillates between strict and crisp and graceful, wandering, storing both outcomes as dual protocols ready to deploy when the next cycle demands order, or when freedom becomes the only stable solution.